A big new update for Path of Titans has just arrived with the Struthio TLC, map changes, nest locations and so much more. So today is the entire overview, and that includes the Struthio TLC video that I done yesterday. Is going to be in the back end of this as well. So of course, if you want to check that out, you can just go to this timestamp. Other than that, let's get right into it. We're starting off with brand new directional attacks, which are now in the game. However, this is only available for that of Kentrosaurus and is only available on the Kentrosaurus tail attack. Essentially, how this works is by doing this. Your tail will attack in the direction the camera is pointing. If you're looking left, you're going to attack left. If you're looking right, your tail is going to go right. However, if you're looking forward or behind, your tail is going to do a general left to right swing, or right to left. I'm not sure which way takes priority, but it's going to do a swing that way. Of course, this is a lot better now that you have the option of directional attacks on a standard attack as well. It's not even a separate attack, which I think is great. And maybe in the future, mods will be able to free up space for their stomp attacks and stuff, where you only need to do a stomp on the direction you're looking instead of a left or right leg as a different slot. Pounce has been updated, and this is a controversial update in my eyes because, well, the dinosaur that you're pounced onto can no longer deal damage to the dinosaur that is pounced onto it. So, say if I was a Deinonychus and I jumped onto a Rex and I was in a range where I could technically be bitten by that Rex. If the Rex tried to bite me, before it would be able to do damage. Now, the Rex cannot do any damage. The only way you can be damaged while pouncing or latched onto someone is by someone else attacking you while you're pounced onto the dinosaur, or someone attacking the dinosaur you're pounced onto and then getting a lucky hit and all that. But that's pretty much how that would work, and it's really, really annoying. However, it is what it is. The map has been updated with various biomes getting overhauls to make way for new locations in almost every single point of interest. And this includes, I think it includes these random tree placeholders, but I don't think they're there anymore. But I'll talk about what it actually includes in a moment. However, this is a list of some of the new point of interest updates: Dried Lake, Burned Forest, Whistling Columns, Dark Woods, Birch Woods, Flyers Bluff, Rainbow Hills, and so much more. Some points of interest got bigger area updates than other areas. However, of course, some of them mainly got small areas or updates. Not massive overhauls, but almost every single biome, barring like a couple of them, have been updated to accommodate something new. That being said, I do want to skirt back really quickly. The biggest point of interest update is Dried Lake. It's entirely changed. It's got a new rock feature, new ground texturing, and a lot of nests and so much more. But there is another thing that's new to the map as well. It's the introduction of reeds and mud as items on the map. These also are new creator mode items that you can place down. You can also pick them up and carry them around as well. However, there is something else that's new, and we're gonna talk about that one right now. So, we talked about the map updates making way for something specific, and that specific thing is nests. Nests are now in almost every single point of interest or biome in Path of Titans. They're also on Pandora as well in the Deep Lake point of interest on Pandora. That being said, on Gondwar, they're everywhere. They're in Green Hills, Birchwoods, Rainbow Hills, Titans Pass, Whistling Columns, Savannah Grasslands, Mud Flats, Flyers Bluff, Burned Forest, and so much more. However, it's probably easier to list out the areas that don't have them, because Impact Crater, Grand Plains, Whistling Columns, I think the mountain that's next to Impact Crater as well, or not next to, but like next to Grand Plains, also doesn't have them. I'm not sure if Young Grove has them as well, but pretty much those are the points of interest that don't have these. The more populated areas don't have nests pretty much, which is interesting. At the moment, these nests do not have any functionality. They just look pretty and, you know, are for dinosaur role players who just want to chill with a nest. Who knows what they could be for? Maybe the devs are just teasing map introduction stuff of nesting, or maybe it's for AI. But it's very interesting. Critter burrows have been updated. You can now place these down in creator mode. There is one for every single critter type. For example, you've got the rat, you've got Platyhystrix, Paleosanoa, and then you've got the frog and the other one as well. I forgot the name, it begins with a D, I'm pretty sure. But that being said, you've got many. burrow types. And the other thing is you can set these to auto spawn at a certain distance, so when someone gets close to the burrow, the critter will automatically be disturbed, dig itself up and run around. This runs on a cycle. I think it's going to more likely respawn when you kill it, but regardless they will over time auto respawn as long as someone's in the area. Chat functionality has been updated as well in this update. You can go to your settings and tweak it. You can tweak a lot of things. It's in your social settings. You can tweak font size, chat box opacity, toggle timestamps on or off. Another thing that you can actually toggle in your graphic settings, just going to mention it here, is the fact that you can now tweak footsteps. You can tweak the quality of footsteps. So obviously this will help you get better performance in the game as well, especially if you're on a lower end device, because a lot of footsteps can be that much of a pain. Anyways, one final feature and then we go into the main fixes and server owner stuff. Auto run has been changed fundamentally. This is toggled by pressing your specific auto run key. On PC it's default to the plus key, of course. I don't know what it is for the other devices, but this can be toggled off by pressing it again or by using higher priority keys like the use action or escape menu key. If you press sprint while auto run is active, you will trot. If you release sprint while auto run is active, you go back to sprinting. If you press precise movement while auto run is active, you will walk. Releasing it goes back to sprinting. Now, another thing I want to bear in mind, looking while auto running does not make you go that way anymore. Instead, you have to use your movement keys to move sideways and stuff. And I'm not a fan of that change, but I can see why people like it. However, that is that. There is now a displayed auto run is active icon near the minimap to show it is active as well. So that's neat too. Of course, server owners get some fixes and some new additions. The new additions we've already spoke about, the critter burrows as creative mode objects and mud and reeds being creative mode objects as well. That being said, there's fixes as well. They've fixed various abilities causing server log spam, fixed ability issue that was causing server log spam, fixed no growth servers can occasionally have set health incorrectly upon exiting tutorial cave, and fixed curve overrides not completely pulling from CSVs / list curves now generates the correct values, which is great. And now the general fixes, because there is a lot here. I'm going to go over my favorite 10, I think it is, and then I'm just going to have the full changelog on the screen for you there. So this is some of the ones. I'm just going to read them out. If you want to pause and read the whole changelog, have a read, let me know what you think about it, but it's just fixes and some additions. They fixed bug related to combat networking. A kilobait or shred ability now uses additional stamina. Fixed logging out while an ability is charged up will cause it to instantly be performed when logging back in and using the ability again. Added a setting in graphics settings to manage the max number of footprints. Added sounds to Camptosaurus drink animation. Fixed Ramphorhynchus seabird hide creating a temporary icon. Fixed some attacks locking and not being able to be used. Fixed a crash with eating critters. Fixed Hatzegoptrix barrel roll doing no damage, and fixed unable to dive after delatching. I want to reel it back really quickly because I didn't actually mention it and I've just remembered it. Some status effects have their own timers now. For example, when you are wet, there is now a timer for you being wet. Literally, it's like the whole cooldown timer for you being wet, and it creates a funny effect with the amount of stats effects now, where you can have a full bar on your screen just full with status effects icons cooling down. Another thing I do want to mention now, I'm talking about icons, some attacks have been changed icon wise. I think fresh blood has been changed. I think some of the Tyrannosaurus Rex abilities have been changed and stuff like that, but the icons have been changed, the abilities have not. Anyways, before I round up this dev blog this update, sorry, let's just go ahead and check out the brand new struthiomimus TLC, which I'm sure you've probably already seen, but if you haven't already, this is the full Struthio TLC showcase, because this is the full overview of the update. The subspecies have been reworked as well. This is a total rework of the dinosaur itself, so of course the first one is Altus plus 50% acceleration speed. Here is the old one on the screen, the old model, and here is the new one for you to have a look at. Then you've got Plumus, which is plus 10% stamina stamina recovery, and then you've got run speed, which is Calvitius plus 5% run speed, the naked one, everyone's favourite. Here are the before and afters on the screen for you to have a look at, and have a look at the model itself. Let me know what you think. When it comes to the skins, all the skins have had relative changes to them. I mean, the default skin has had major changes to it. Here's the old default skin, here's the new default skin. But when you go through the other skins, most of them have only had changes to their overall pattern, just to keep it up to date with the model. And so most of these don't need an overview showcase. There is another two that have had reworks, however, major reworks, and I'll get to them when I come to them. But at the moment we are on Red Stripe, which is a good skin, then Flaxen, another beautiful skin, and then Flint. When we get to the new skins, the first one is not new but reworked, is Fox. Now, this was technically reworked before, and that reworked version is in the game now on the struthiomimus anyways, but the old version looked like this, if I can find that. Of course, then you've got Budgie, which is also reworked, but this is already on the live branch as well. If I can find the old version, I'll have that on the screen now. Then you've got Stark, and then Albino, and Melanistic. So this is the struthiomimus baby, and it is absolutely adorable. This is the old struthiomimus baby, and this is the new struthiomimus baby, so you can see the model changes there. That being said, you pretty much just get your standard kick attack, and that is that. Well, this is kick barrage actually, but when you look at the attacks that you can get, now I have stuff equipped already. It was because, you know, this was previously an adult. These are the stuff you get from default when you are a juvenile. You're able to get these passives unlocked straight away. On Alert is unlocked straight away, that's on the head swap. Then you can change your metabolisms, these will cost marks. You can change your hides as well, these will cost marks as well. You then also get Kick Barrage and Back Kick and Leap. Kick Barrage and Leap will cost marks, I just have Kick Barrage unlocked at the moment, but you start off with your default kick. Now the default kick looks like this. I mean, it's the standard kick that you get on your Struthi. There you go. Now, when it comes to your abilities, there is a lot on offer. You start off with your passives, you get 2 of them, and 2 slots. These are unlocked straight away. You get Feathery Hide, which builds up 1 stack of Feathery Hide every 30 seconds for a maximum of 5 stacks. Reduces incoming damage by 10% per active stack. Incoming attacks will remove 1 stack per hit. Then you get Double Jump, which allows you to double jump. You have to do this within the first 2 seconds of your first jump. For the head, you get On Alert. This used to be a passive, no longer. It essentially means when you stand still for a set amount of time, you'll have a radar showcased, and it will showcase the movement of player in that radius. It's a specific radius, I don't know how much, I think it's like 100 meters or something, but yeah, it's really good. For the sensors, you've got 3 here. You've got Herbivore Parade, which gains 4% increased stamina recovery. That applies to each Campto, Struthi, Kentro, or Patchy in the group up to 10 stacks within 75 meters. If you have Herbivore Parade equipped, you gain a stack for each Campto, Struthi, Kentro, or Patchy. If not, you gain a stack for each member with the ability. Lone Survivor is a standard ability, every dinosaur has it. Then you get Scout, which increases your speed by 10% when you are in a group. You're going more support scouting based as a dinosaur. Front Limb is Slipstream. You essentially activate this, anyone sprinting behind you sprints faster, or trotting. They go faster, they will eventually overtake you, so bear that in mind. Then you get Metabolisms, Standard, Forager, Herbivore, Insectivore. They have not changed. For the hide, you get Hollow Bones, reduces jumping stamina cost by 20%. Display Feathers increases the duration of your calls by 20%. And Thick Feathers increases health recovery rate by 50%. Moving on, you have your legs. You've got braced legs, which allows you to move faster when moving uphill or downhill. You also have long distance runner, which reduces stamina drain by 15%. And then you get strong legs, which takes 40% less knockback and 15% increased bone break healing. Next, you get your back limb, which is where you get your 2 attacks. This dinosaur has 2 attacks. You get your kick, standard, does medium damage, and you get kick barrage, which is a quick attack that increases power with each hit. This is a very good attack. I would recommend you get this over kick barrage. As long as you're landing your kicks, you can pretty much deal a lot of damage. Get a whole bunch of Struthis doing kick barrage, you'll be doing very well in my eyes. And I've tested that, I've tried it. For the leap, it increases jump height and decreases fall damage. And then you move to your voice. You get your combat calls, and you get your survival calls. So you get Safeguard, Tantrum, and Swift Tempo for the combat calls. Safeguard increases armor by 5% for all group members within 15 meters for 15 seconds. Tantrum increases attack damage by 5% for all group members within 15 meters for 15 seconds. And Swift Tempo. This decreases ability cooldowns by 25% for all group members within 15 meters for 2 seconds, which is a really good ability. Then you get your survival calls. You've got Hustle, which is a standard one. It's a call that increases your group's trotting speed by 20% for 5 minutes within 75 meters. Dust Off is a dust off ability. Dust off your group members behind you, reducing sprinting stamina drain by 50% for 1 minute. A very, very good ability. Then you got Rat Out, which essentially any dinosaur creature within 20 meters will perform a broadcast call when you do this ability. All affected creatures in your group will gain 20% increased trot movement speed for 30 seconds. Yeah, that's quite decent. So if you want to test the damage of the attacks, or see the damage, an Alderon is probably one of the better candidates. It's a 2-slot, it's a decent dinosaur, and you can attack it quite well. So for the kick attack, of course, well, it does about 22.8 damage, hitting the legs, by the way. You have to bear that in mind. The hit range on the kick attack isn't the best. As you can see here, you really have to get that leap in, because if you're just right on the body, it's often or not sometimes going to miss or get stuck like that. It depends where your hitbox is. So you're doing a consistent 22 damage to the Alderon. However, the kick barrage is where things get a little spicy. So the kick barrage you can only do while you are walking or running, but you can't do it while you are stood still. You also can't do it while you are slow walking, so bear that in mind. However, once you are literally on a dinosaur, you could just start going away. It does 2 attacks, and if one of them connects, you're doing damage. You've got about 10 seconds before the attack wears off, so you have to bear that in mind. When you're at your max attack, you're doing about 30 damage per hit. 37 damage per hit, actually, by the looks of it. It really is depending where I'm hitting this lovely Alderon. But as long as you're hitting it, you're going to be doing consistent damage, and you have to hit it with that within that 10-second time frame, otherwise you'll go back to 3 seconds of damage. But as you can see, you're tearing the dinosaur apart, and we're going to leave it right there. However, you also have to bear in mind that sometimes you do miss, and that is important to note. We tore that thing down quite quickly, probably a lot faster than you would with the standard kick. However, the standard kick does have that consistent 22 damage every time, whereas this one has, if you get into the upper echelons, you've got 37 damage per hit. But at the start, when you're doing not that much and you're missing, you're doing 9. So it really depends how good you are at getting into harm's way, consistently dodging the attacks from your opponent and dealing damage. Because bear in mind, you're not going to be fighting a static target. Now, the other thing I want to showcase to you is the brand new ability, which is on alert. Now, this takes 10 seconds to, do its thing. I'm going to make sure I'm not seeing this Alderon, because there's 2 things I want to showcase with this ability. stand still for 10 seconds. When it hits 5 seconds, you'll be able to see the dinosaur or the ability cooldown come into play. When you do it, you then get this 100-meter radius around you where you're able to see dinosaur movement. And as soon as I start moving on this account, the other account, you'll be able to see that you can see it. Now I'm going to run away, which is roughly 100 meters away. The icon will get smaller until I get to the border, and then it disappears. Yep, it's gone now, and then it comes back in. So now we're behind a rock, so you'll be able to see if this is actually something that works when you're seeing someone behind a rock. So if I look over here, right, and I angle this Alderon from a specific way, so I'm behind the rock itself. Yeah, once you go behind the rock, you'll be able to see the movement. So when you're out of that view range, you're still able to see exactly where it is. I'm walking behind the rock. As soon as I come out from the rock, you won't be able to see my footprints. When I go behind the rock again, or solid terrain, you will be able to see the footprint. And that's a nice little caveat. Bushes, you won't be able to see it. Solid terrain, you will be. Anyways, everybody, that is it with the brand new update. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But if you are new, feel free to subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.